Hello dear viewers, it's me, your favorite chess YouTuber. That is not true, but let's skip that part. My name is Oliver. Hello, big name reveal. Woohoo! Don't get too excited now. So my name is Oliver, and today I thought we would actually not solve some chess puzzles, but we could actually play a chess game, an actual chess game. It will be quite slow, quite instructional. I will tell you why I played the move I played and not some other move. I will explain everything. I'll try to be as educational as possible, and yeah, let's just get right into it. So let's click 10+5 rapid, and hopefully we can get a game soon. Alright, it's taking a bit longer than expected, but in a few seconds we should be able to get a game. Yes, alright, so we're playing against someone higher rated than us. His rating is 1909, my rating is 1860. I'm going to play e4. He's playing b6. I think it's called the English defense, but I'm not sure. Okay, so it's always good to have pawns in the center, so I'm just going to follow that rule. Plays bishop b7, and I think a move I can play right now is either knight c3, bishop d3. Since I need to defend this pawn, I think I will play bishop d3. Bishop d3 just to defend this pawn, because perhaps I don't want to put my knight in front of my c-pawn. Perhaps I want my c-pawn to go to either c4 or c3. Okay. This is already something which I'm not familiar with. It's already unfamiliar territory for me. If I push this pawn right now, I'm going to lose my pawn and I'm going to lose my rook. So that's not good. I could play f3, but that's, I think, severely weakening. I need to deal with this. So I think I'm going to play either knight c3 or knight d2. I'm contemplating which move is better right now. Okay, let's be solid. Let's go knight d2 for now. And perhaps I'm going to reinforce my d-pawn with moves such as c3. Okay, so he's playing e6 to let him develop his bishop. I think I'm going to make that impossible for him. And yeah, so as I've mentioned, c3. Okay, he's playing a very weird setup. He's just letting me have the entire center for myself. He's not necessarily fighting back. I guess I'll just develop my knight. Knight f3 looks reasonable. I could actually play f4 to try to break in the center somehow, but I'm not sure whether that's something I want to do right now. This game is going to be a pretty slow one. Alright, let's go knight f3. Just a solid move. Knight d7. Okay. I imagine his next move is going to be c5, although I'm not sure whether I'm concerned too much with that. I think I'm just going to castle and potentially move my rook to e1 on the next move so it supports my pawn. Castling is always good since you get your king out of the center and don't need to worry about many threats. Okay, so what I'm thinking now is to potentially play e5. If takes, I can take with my knight. If knight takes, I would have to take with my pawn. So I'm probably going to do that in a second. Firstly I'm going to prepare this move e5 with rook to e1. And hopefully he castles and allows me to do this. If he plays e5 himself, I mean, I guess I'll just play d5 to kind of just put his bishop, to just block his bishop up completely. But he doesn't do that. So I guess I'll play e5. If pawn takes, then knight takes. If knight takes, then perhaps a rook takes. Look at that. That looks nice. And besides e5, I can now put my knight on e4, perhaps on g3, and start some sort of attack with my queen and my bishop. So I guess e5 is the move right now. If he doesn't do anything about this pawn, for example, if he just moves his knight, I'm probably going to take, and then knight, I'm going to go knight e4. Okay, but he takes. Hold on, I need to let my dog out of my room. I'm going to be back in a second. Alright, I'm back. So he moved his bishop to attack my knight. But now I think this move, knight f3, knight d to f3 looks nice. So I think I'm going to play it. It reopens my bishop. It can now go to g5 or f4 potentially. Also my queen has some prospects. I can go queen c2 and try to line something up over here with my battery of queen and bishop. Yeah, so he prevents the development of my bishop to g5, but I think I can still go to f4. f4, and then my threat is to take this knight, threaten the rook, and perhaps take this bishop. But okay. I can go bishop f4. Yes, I think that's the move I'm going to play. We just have a kind of slow, positional, simple game. Of course, if he takes back with the knight or the bishop, I'm going to take back with my knight. And I'm just going to have a nice knight in the center. And when he takes and I take back with my knight, also this diagonal opens up for my queen, so I can develop it as well. Rook b8, I do not know what this move does. It's really incomprehensible to me. But perhaps I can take this knight, queen takes, and maybe now I won't take this bishop. Take this knight, queen takes, and then jump my other knight in here. I think this idea is nice, since he isn't just going to allow me. He isn't just going to take and allow me to get this. Alright. What can I do? I think I'm going to... What I'm going to do... Actually, if I go here, he can go here, but then I just take his rook, which is not smart. It wouldn't be a smart move by him, I think. Alright, so takes. He can take now here, I've just realized. But then I take with a queen, and if he takes with a bishop, I take back. Or maybe I take one of the rocks in the process. I just have a slightly better position, I think. Because I'm more active, I have more like pawns in the center. He decides to take back with a knight, that's interesting. Okay, so if I move my knight in here, is he going to play f6? Then I'm going to go knight g6, and that doesn't look so great for him. Okay. Or actually, wait, hold on. This f6, if I jump my knight here, he's going to take my bishop, but then I can maybe retreat. Okay. Let's see here. Just don't hang your bishop. So knight e5, if f6, then I can go knight g6. If bishop takes, then I go back to f4. If e5, then takes, knight takes. I'm actually liking this position. I'm not sure. Actually, knight here, f6, I can also just take this knight. Alright, I'm going to play that. I'm going to play this move. I mean, we're just going to trade a bunch of pieces and probably make a draw. But it depends on whether I get into time trouble or not. And I've already got only 3 minutes on my clock because I've discussed my previous moves for so long. I should probably give more explanation on why I played 95. 95, I mean, it's obviously good to have things in the center, and it targets many squares. It targets g6, it targets c6, it can potentially rotate back to c4 and try to put some pressure on this bishop. And besides, I freed out the f3 square, so now my queen has an open diagonal. And yeah, so now I'm thinking knight takes, maybe queen takes, and actually queen g4. That looks nice. If g6, then this isn't looking as nice as I think it is. So yeah, I'm just going to take. If he takes my bishop, yeah, okay, so take. Now I think queen g4 is a move. Queen g4, if he takes my bishop, then, well, I just take back and we're probably going to make a draw. Just trying to see whether there's anything better that I have. I'm not sure. Okay. I think I've been saying queen g5 for the majority of the time. It's queen g4. I apologize if I messed it up. A move like e5 here would be a tremendous blunder for him, since I would just take his queen for free, and I would be winning in that position. But yeah, maybe I could have taken his bishop before I went to g4. But now I also, oh, that's interesting. f5, I did not consider that move. Well, I suppose I should get back to g3. g3 continues to defend my bishop, and it's still a semi-active square for my queen. I did not see f5, it's actually a good move by him. But now I'm probably going to trade bishops, yes, and try to double stack my rooks on the open e-file. So actually, my attack that I've been commentating for most of this game, along those diagonals on the king, kind of backfires, since now he can play moves such as g5, and I'm not sure whether I'm winning anymore. I mean, I never was winning, but these pawns will look a bit scary, to be honest. Okay, well, that's obviously a threat which we can stop. Those two pieces are threatening to checkmate my king. But I think I will just go f3, I suppose. Yeah, I'll go f3. I don't have time to see whether there were some other alternatives. That's a lot of R's in one sentence. Okay, c5 is a good move. It is a good move. But now I think I have an even better move, which he had missed. I think I can go here. Rook e5. That's a sexy move. Okay. It forces his queen to move. And he cannot take here because I just take with a pawn. Man, rook e5 is a nice move. His queen isn't trapped or anything, but it's just a move you should appreciate. Yeah, okay. So he decides to pin my rook, sort of. Now I can, if I double stack my rooks, he's going to take here, and takes and takes. But then I maybe have, wait, no, this protected. Okay, I'm just going to double stack my rooks and threaten to take e6. Yeah, so he defends e6. Now I can add another layer of attack to e6, which just looks very appealing, and I can unpin my bishop. Okay, so he tries to trade. I guess I will give him the trade. Okay, sure. Oh, that's a trap. If I take this, he takes my queen. If I take this... Okay, I'm just going to move my queen here. If he takes, I take. He takes, I take. Okay. I think we're just going to make a draw. But my rook is more active than his, so I have the advantage. Okay, so... But now I get this. Now I get a 5. So I have winning chances. Okay, he decides to lock the structure. Not sure how smart that decision was, but I'm just going to move back where I came from and try to go to the second rank. Okay, he disallows it. Okay, king f2. Just bring my king a bit closer. I'm going to start marching my pawns as well. He wants to trade. That's interesting. Okay. But aren't I just winning now? If he goes here, I go here. I think I'm winning. The decision to trade rooks by him was not the best of decisions, in my opinion. I just have a pawn majority here. Yeah, okay, so now I go... Oh, that's tricky actually, but I think I just go here. He's trying to... Not actually sure what he's trying to do, but I'm going to win his pawns over here. And just march my trio of pawns over to where... Yeah, okay, I'm just winning. I'm just winning. I can move my king here now, so his king has no entry points. And I'm just going to push my h-pawn. Yeah, I'm winning. I'm just winning. If he takes, I'm going to take back. There's nothing he can do. And he resigns. He wants a rematch. Do we give him a rematch? Oh, well, he's gone. He doesn't want a rematch anymore. Alright, well, that was a nice game, I guess. I mean, we just traded all the pieces, and my advantage proved to be decisive in the endgame. I'm kind of curious to see where his mistakes were, to be honest. He definitely shouldn't have traded the rooks, that's for sure. But yeah, okay, so I've made 3 mistakes according to the computer already. 3 mistakes, 1 blunder, but an average center pawn loss of 25. So that's not as bad as his average center pawn loss. Average center pawn loss is sort of a measurement to describe like the quality of your moves. So if you've made an average center pawn loss of 25, as I've got, then it's like you have lost a quarter of a pawn each move that each move you made. So that's not bad actually. The average center pawn loss of 25, at least for my level. I didn't make any like severe mistakes, I didn't think. So let's just go through the entire game once more. What were my mistakes? e4, b6. b6 is already considered an inaccuracy, but this engine is a bit strict. It tells you that only e5, c5, e6 and c6 are good, but it's not true. Other openings are fine as well. So yeah, I've just claimed the entire center for myself. Bishop d3 is the top engine move, that's fantastic. Knight f6. Queen e2 is played by the majority of players, as you can see here. So queen e2, this move. I've decided to, and knight d2 is the second most common move. So I've decided to play knight d2, it's also good. He played e6, c3 is fantastic. You can see the top engine move here. So c3 to disallow this bishop from developing. Now the top move, the most common move is c5, which I was kind of afraid of. Well, not necessarily afraid of, but it's just a good move. But he doesn't seize the opportunity. I just develop my knight. He develops his knight, castles, bishop e7. He's also trying to castle. And yeah, so computer is already saying that rook e1 and e5 are the top moves, and I've actually played rook e1 here to prepare e5. He definitely should have played e5 here himself, I think, since e5 I would have played d5, and my advantage isn't as big as I initially planned for it to be. He can already begin playing moves like c6, then he can perhaps take. I mean, the position is still better for me, but e5 I think would have been better for him, but he castled. I went e5 myself, since that was the goal of my entire position. He took, and apparently taking back with the knight was a mistake. So let's see why it was a mistake. Knight takes e5, rook takes e5, c5. So my pawn is pinned, and I cannot take because otherwise I lose my bishop. But now knight f3. Okay, knight f3, queen f3. This. I'm just losing a pawn. Okay, so that's why knight takes c5 was a bit bad. But I do not have the ability to see 10 moves ahead. Okay, 5, but I thought that taking with the pawn was okay, but it didn't bring me too many benefits, since the knight would just go here, and I mean, I could still move my knight to e4, but I just didn't know whether that was the position that I was going for. But okay, so e5, I took with a knight, he attacks my knight. Now knight f3 was one of the top engine moves. He plays h6, because if he didn't play h6, for example, let's just say a random move like rook e8, I would have played bishop g5. Just developed my piece and posed a threat of taking, I guess. So he saw that, I saw that as well, so he played h6. But now, if I can't go to g5 with my bishop, I might as well go to f4. So yeah, he played rook b8, which I cannot possibly comprehend I cannot comprehend why he played that move. Perhaps he found that his bishop was later going to come under fire, so he decided to protect it, but I'm still not sure why he would do that and not something else. But okay, he played rook b8, I took, he took, I put my other knight on e5. Of course, the position here is very equal, it's just plus 02, so it's like I have 1/5 of a pawn more than black, but of course the material is equal, and it's just a positional standpoint that the engine is considering. Okay, so he played f6, and apparently knight g6 was what I was supposed to play. I took here, but knight g6, bishop takes, I take it back. Why is this position plus 7? e5? Aha! Because I have a fork here. Okay, so what if he protects the fork? Wait, oh, I still take. I still take this. Queen e7. Wow, okay. Then I take here, and the engine is telling to sacrifice your queen for the rook. I mean, not actually, just take, and you get my queen as well, but that's kind of weird. It's kind of strange, to be honest. Wow, alright. I'm only up like 2 pawns here, but the engine is telling plus 8, so it's as if I was up almost a queen. I'm sorry, hold on. My family member just came inside my room, which was very inconvenient, but I'm sorry for that. Alright, so apparently knight g6 is what I should have played. So once again, knight g6. The engine is saying to go here. Then I have this, and I just didn't see whether my position was actually as good as I thought it was, but the engine thinks it was. Alright, so knight takes d7, queen takes d7. Here I thought I should have taken the bishop first and then played queen g4, but apparently it's around the same. It's the same advantage. So queen g3, or queen h4 were both good moves, but because I had to stay protecting my bishop, and I couldn't go, for example, to f3 because I would get taken. So queen g3. He took, I took. Now he plays queen d5. Obviously he is trying to checkmate me. The engine is telling it's an inaccuracy, but no one under the level of like 2400 would understand why, so I'm not even trying to get into that. Of 2400 ELO, if anyone's confused. So I played f3 to stop the checkmate. He played c5. Of course, here I discussed this in the game, but I couldn't take because I would lose my bishop, and I could basically resign already. Because, I mean, I could take this pawn, he takes back, I take here, but I have two pawns, but he has a bishop, and that's always, basically, a bishop is nearly always better than two pawns. So yeah, that's why I didn't take on c5 here. That's why I played rook e5. Rook e5 is a sexy move since it's defended by the queen and the pawn. It centralizes the rook, and the queen basically has to move, and it's just a nice tempo winning move. Tempo winning means you force the other side to react to your threat, and tempo winning moves are almost always a good thing, are always good moves. So he moves back to kind of pin me, so if I were to, for example, take this pawn, I mean I wouldn't, but if I were to take this pawn, he would have taken my queen for free. I just reinforced my rook, which was apparently the mistake. The computer thought it was a mistake, so I should have played bishop c4 right away. I played a move later, I think. So rook e8, rook e1, I'm sorry, rook e1, he played rook e8, then I played bishop c4, and he found his way to kind of trade my pieces. So I just traded, because I was also in low time, so if you're in low time and you don't know what to do, you can also you can always trade. So take. If I took his rook here, that would be a tremendous blunder, since he would take my queen for free. And if I take his rook and king takes, I just have a rook and he has a queen, so I'm losing. So that's why I backed my queen up. The engine thinks h4 is the best move. I mean, okay, I get that it kind of prevents g5, but why would I ever play h4 in this position? Okay, I could have also brought my king up one square, but it's not necessarily an easy move to find when you're under time pressure. So I've just backed my queen up. He took, I took, he took, I took. He tried to defend his pawn like this, like this, but he missed that. His f5 pawn is also hanging. I'm kind of curious why the engine is saying this and here. Aha, because the vendor can go here, and if I take either one of the pawns, it gets into my second rank. Wow, that's creative. That's a creative engine idea. But I take here, and black's rook takes here. I mean, I have a passed pawn here, but the engine says 0-0, so according to it, the position is just a draw, despite me having a pawn advantage. Alright, so he took, I took. He defended his d5 pawn, but he forgot about his f5 pawn. So I took. He decided to lock the structure, which was apparently a big mistake, since takes, and he can seize control over the open file and try to activate his rook some more. But he decides to lock the structure, which is just cleanly winning for me. I try to centralize my rook again in order to go to the second file with a similar idea to try to eat his pawns up. He disallows it, since now if I go here, then king takes. I just bring my king closer and continue bringing my king closer, since in the endgames king is very important. You should always, not in every instance, but you should definitely bring your king in the endgame, bring your king closer to the center of action in the endgame. King activity is very important. And he decides to trade rooks, which was just not a good idea, since now his king is very passive and my king is very active. It's now in the middle of the action, and notice material is equal. I mean, I have a pawn advantage, but the material is equal. But because my king is so active and his king is so passive, the position is plus 8.8, almost plus 9, so the engine thinks it's as if I was a queen up. So if in this position, but I had an extra queen. So that's how meaningful the king's activity in the endgame is. He tried to do some stuff over here. I just quickly won all of his pawns. Very important to block the other side's king out, so that he has no potential entry squares into your position, so that he cannot do the same thing and chop up your pawns. And I mean, the rest of the game is history. I just pushed my h-pawn and he resigned, because if he tried to get here to stop my pawn, I would have just gone here with my king and just see how the engine would play this game to the end. So I'm just going to press space, and pressing space gives the best possible move in the position. So that's how this game could have ended if he did not resign. And that is checkmate. So when the pawns promote, they reach their the square on the opposing side, on the opposite side of the chessboard. They become queens, and it's easier for them to checkmate the black king. The black king has no escape, and the game is over. White is winning. Alright, so that was it for this video. I hope you enjoyed me playing this game and giving some sort of post-game analysis. I hope you learned something. Feedback is much appreciated, so let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. If you have any ideas on what you would like to see, I'm very happy to hear them. Any ideas, any suggestions, any possible improvements. So yeah, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.